What is up, YouTube fam? Robbie C here. Today we're going to talk about disc golf burnout and the idea that some of you may not be having as much fun as you once did while out on the disc golf course, and what can we do about that feeling? Before diving in though, of course we have to ask the most important question of the day. Larry, Leo, Tommy, Adam. That's who it is. How are you doing today, Adam? Are you having a good day?
So catch me if I fall.
For lots of folks, when you get into disc golf, it becomes this really fun hobby of intrigue where there's always going to be things that I can improve on and a similar advantage to golf, and I'm never going to play the perfect game. I'm going to always leave strokes out there on the round, and I may improve on my putting, but my drives are going to become lackluster. Or my drives were spot on, and then I found myself failing on the green. Or I found myself great on the green, I was driving well, but my upshots were terrible. It truly feels, especially as amateurs, that there isn't the ability to truly close out a round and have this fantastic feeling of, wow, I did everything as best I could while I was out there. Even if you do have that round, 9 times out of 10, I bet that something unlucky happened to you while you were out there as well. So with all that being said, disc golf always leaves us wanting more. And in an effort to put our name on the winner's wall, we often can start looking for answers or solutions to the frustrations that we're finding while we're out there on the course, which means that we're going to turn to YouTube. We're going to turn to coaching. We're going to turn to a variety of different sources to try and improve our game. And when we do that, it could start the road towards disc golf burnout. What is disc golf burnout, and what do I mean by burnout? Disc golf burnout to me is when you find yourself enjoying the game less and less as you go out there over time. This can lead to avoiding playing disc golf. This can lead to more frustration and less enjoyment overall when you're playing disc golf, and really that searching feeling of asking yourself, why do I even play this game? Now, of course, when you're out there during the middle of a round and you throw a stray shot and it hits first available, and you're incredibly frustrated in that moment and you're like, wow, I don't know why I play this game. I am not calling that disc golf burnout, but I would describe a situation that I'm feeling right now in my own disc golf game as a certified disc golf burnout. Now, personally, mine has come from a season of form change. Now, I'm making these form changes to see drastic result changes, which means I'm going to have to change drastically in order to see those results. What this has done is taken me from being super competent and knowing like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is how the disc is gonna come out of my hands, and leaving consistency in the plateau that I was currently standing on and diving down the hill into the valley in order to find a new mountain to climb, which has new, higher, and better results waiting on the other side. Of course, if you stick with us in this analogy, that means that right now, I'll be deep in that valley, yo. Like, deep in that valley. My personal valley is coming from being a consistent player to losing that consistency in chasing better results and better success while I'm out there on the course. But your valley could be entirely different. Your valley could be you're playing casually with your friends and you always seem to be the one who loses on the card. No matter how everyone else plays, you may start out with 5 birdies on the first 5 holes, but it's this sinking feeling knowing, wow, I'm gonna give it up and they're gonna catch me and I'm still gonna lose this round. For others, it may be that you're playing in tournaments on a regular basis and you seem to have put 4 of your worst ever tournaments piled up in a row, and you're asking yourself, should I ever play in tournaments again? Should I quit this sport entirely? Why do I spend money to hate myself on the weekends? Disc golf burnout can look so different for so many people, and I want to give you my favorite solution to overcoming disc golf burnout, and it is what we're going to call the reminder round. Now, what is a reminder round? A reminder round is where you want to remind yourself, why do I love this game? I would say there are 3 major contributors to most every player's disc golf burnout track. The first is competition and the failure to compete well. Whether you're competing against your friends, whether you're competing against yourself, whether you're competing against the course, failing to compete at the level that you expect to compete at, whether or not that's a realistic expectation is something we're definitely going to talk about in a future video. But regardless, whether you are able to compete at the level that you think you should be able to compete at can be a frustrating experience and make you ask yourself, why use spend all of your free time in the afternoon after work where you've already been on that grind all day, and yet you decide to just bash your face into tree after tree because that's what your discs want to do. The second contributing factor I would say is failure to execute. Now this can be something that lots of players can connect with because when you're learning the game and you're a newer player, you can have that failure to execute already because I don't know what the discs are going to be doing anyways. But maybe, like myself, you were already feeling like you knew what you wanted and where the disc was going to go, when it was going to come out of your hand, things like that. And yet you make a couple tweaks in an effort to chase those better results, and it's like not only did you start moving in a wayward direction, but wow, you can't even get pars on basic holes anymore. And the third is just an overall discomfort or frustration with your bag, with the discs you have in your bag. This can come from, wow, I keep trying to throw this sting and it's either crazy overstable and wanting to hook up every single time, or it's like this thing would be better off just taking a tire off of my car and putting it on there because it wants to roll 24/7. So the reminder round is designed to tackle all three of these things. So what you're going to do for a reminder round is you're going to either play a round without scoring and with people that you absolutely trust. If you don't have anyone in your disc golf life that you feel like you can trust without mocking you or feeling like you're going to be competitive against, then I suggest playing around by yourself. But I'm also very aware that lots of folks, and I can be in this trap myself too, of when you get out and play by yourself, it can be a dark, dark place. I mean, nobody's around, so you can just trash talk yourself into the ground. Find some friends, get out there and play a non-scoring round at a course that none of you are incredibly comfortable with. If you go to your local course where you have birdied every hole on one day or another, it's going to have these expectations and weights on top of them, and you're not going to remind yourself why you love the sport. You're going to continue to remind yourself why you are absolutely frustrated and in that dark, dark disc golf burnout place. The second thing I suggest you do to kind of tweak this round and make it a little more fun is turn it into something super exciting or weird that you've never done in the past. Some suggestions for these odd changes can be a putter only round. You can take the spin on that and do a driver only round, because I promise you, if you think your putting is rough right now, imagine when you're trying to putt with a 13-speed driver. You can switch it up and do a forehand only round. You can do a lefty only round or offhand only round, because I know, right, lefties are watching this and they're like, bro, I'll be playing left hand only rounds all the time. Switch to your offhand. Or you can go with one of my personal favorites, which is new disc bag. You want to take discs out there that you haven't thrown before and you have zero expectations surrounding, so you're not going to be upset when they do this or this because, well, you got no idea. If you have a local disc golf store, heading to the used section for 20 bucks, you probably can walk away with 2 or 3 discs and have that fun, expectation-free round. In fact, before filming this video, I went and played a reminder round because my coach was coming in town and I wanted to try to get in as good a mental headspace as I could and get out of that disc golf valley, or at least pull out like the ice picks so I could start trying to climb the mountain a little bit myself. I want to take a quick moment to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Atlas Disc Golf Supply. Atlas Disc Golf Supply is home for so many of your disc golf needs, but today we want to talk about their rangefinder, the Atlas Scout. The Atlas Scout is a fantastic rangefinder that has a multitude of modes measuring in both yards, feet, and so many options that can help you whether you're playing golf, whether you're playing disc golf, or whether you're playing, I don't know, like foot golf or something. Atlas rangefinder is super clutch, and having the information while you're out there on the course allows you to make more informed decisions, allowing you to score better. No longer standing in the middle of an open field, which is so many players' worst nightmare, seeing that basket off in the distance and wondering, man, am I throwing my zone at this shot? Am I throwing my harp at this shot? Am I throwing my ABR X3? Because let's be real, somebody watching this has all 3 of those discs in their bag, and that's okay. We still love you, and we'd love you even more if you wanted to make that shot a little easier with the Atlas Scout. You can use code RCDiscGolf at checkout when you're at atlasdgs.com to save yourself a little bit of money on all Atlas supplies, whether that be the Scout rangefinder, whether that be the Pioneer disc golf backpack. Guys, multitude of options out there for you. I want to thank Atlas for being a longtime supporter of the Robbie C channel and for helping you guys be better equipped to score as best as possible before you even step out on the course. Thank you again to Atlas, and once again, you can check them out at atlasdgs.com and use code RCDiscGolf at checkout. So for my most most recent reminder round, I got a box in the mail from Clash Discs, you know, little finished plastic, having a good time with it. And no, we're not talking about finish line plastic, we're talking about the actual fins. And they sent me 5 discs, and what I did is, obviously I've never thrown any of these before because I'm pretty confident that 4 of them are prototypes. So yeah, definitely didn't have the chance to throw them, but walking into a round with 0 expectations and knowing that, man, I'm not here to work on my form. I'm not here to work on offside engagement. I'm gonna make sure that, like, you know what? I'm not recording any of this. I just wanna get out there and see discs fly, because for so many people, that is what is probably the most addicting part of disc golf, is when a disc comes flying out of your hand and you just watch it soar through the air. So I went out with these discs with, once again, 0 expectations, just ready to have a good time. And I was pleasantly surprised by quite a few of them. Others, you know, they were shocking. I'm just gonna leave it there. We'll start off with the Clash Disc Peppermint, the Jacob Cordes new little tour series. I think, like, my Justice could be in trouble when comparing to this disc right here, because this thing is so beefy. I could put this thing on this much anhyzer and it would still fight out. And for those of you who don't like the Justice because you don't like the bead of it, I really think the Peppermint and the Sunny plastic could be you. Looking at you, Cupcake. Lotus, which is Nate Perkins' new disc. I've been a Nate Perkins fan ever since I got to meet him in person in 2020. And so seeing the Lotus, I was super excited about this one. It was really solid. I think I threw it on more forehands than I did anything else. And on a forehand, it had a decent amount of fade and hookup to it. Definitely, if you don't have like a consistent smooth forehand, this is gonna be kind of good in helping you learn that, because I'm pretty confident if you jam over on it, it's not too overstable to where it's gonna like automatically fight out on it. So could be a good learning disc for you if you're trying to grow that forehand. The Fudge. The Fudge was more overstable than I thought it was gonna be in a straight flyer for a putter, but it feels really good in my hand. It reminds me a lot of if I found my Senseis and I put a bead on my Senseis. So feels really good. I ended up putting with this for most of the round. So definitely viewed it more as a putter than a thrower, but on throwing, had a lot of glide, really fun. Enjoyed it a lot. And I mean, guys, like, who doesn't like fudge? Next up was the Cinnamon. The cinnamon was really good. I'm gonna give my disc golf hot take. I think a lot of people really like to throw these 9 speeds because they don't have the arm to throw like a big distance driver, when in reality, they could probably throw a 7 speed in this slot as well. And they're like, but if I throw the 9 speed, Rob, Mr. YouTube man, you're not ready for how much farther I'm about to throw this Frisbee. I just don't think it's true. So I walked in with a healthy dose of questionability on the Cinnamon and really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. It definitely went straighter than I expected it to. Most of the time on these like 9.5, -1.2 type discs, they're just beefy. The Onyx was beefy when you don't hit a hold of it. The Getaway can have some beef to it. Like a lot of those 9 speeds really like to just be shoo, dump. But the Cinnamon, really straight. I don't know, it's the prototype, and so I have seen Clash discs in the past be a little more stable in the prototype version than they are in the stock run. So definitely gonna be curious to see how the Cinnamon comes out in the stock, but as the proto, pretty great. But the most surprising disc of all is a disc that I think I'm gonna be recommending way more than I ever thought, and it was a disc that wasn't on the release schedule. It was the Cherry. If you're looking for your first in disc golf, Cherry could be a great first disc. Understable, still a little bit of fade at the end, but mostly understable. The rim, she got some good grip to her. Real thick rim, really surprising. So I was shocked by these discs, but I would say the most fun part about them was because I didn't have any expectations walking in, I could just throw the craziest shots while I was out there. I mean, especially with the Peppermint, I was just like, I don't know, it's a straight fairway. Like, it's just straight up there. What if I just throw a little flexor all the way down? That'd be fun. And then you're standing up close to the basket and you're like, man, I love some white chocolate fudge. How about a fudge in the basket? And so you're just chucking it right at the basket. It was super fun, and I really think I walked away in my reminder round using all of these discs for the first time, thinking not about, are any of these gonna make my bag? Oh man, what implications is this round gonna have? Because that's not the point of a reminder round. A reminder round is designed to help you remind yourself, why do I enjoy this sport? And is it worth continuing down this journey that has caused me to go into the valley, or do I need to turn around and go back to the plateau for a little bit and see the sunshine over the mountains? All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. Sorry, Silas, the lighting is a little bit difficult in here, but we are about to head off and record our next episode of Flex Line Trivia over on the Foundation Podcast Network. So got to get to that, get the trivia going. But in the meantime, I hope this was helpful. And if you find yourself in that place of disc golf burnout, know that A, you're not alone. Trust me, there are so many of us stuck in that rut. And I want to see and do my best to help you get out of that rut, and not only just giving this idea of the reminder rounds, but maybe a tip or two so that you don't have to go through and make these drastic form changes. Just changing or adjusting your mental attitude or your mental strategy while you're attacking the course could be everything you need to start winning a few more of your rounds against your friends, start shooting those better rounds during tournaments, or just overall enjoy the game a little bit more once again. In the meantime, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic week. You can make it fantastic for someone else too. In the meantime, we're going to leave you with the birdie.